Today we are going to talk about how to create and how to add schema markup to our website. Doesn't matter if it's an affiliate website, if it's a local business, whatever that website is. And Clint is gonna walk us through how to do that. And it's going to be like a tutorial on how to add schema markup. I think we're not going to use any plugins, but we'll see that in just a moment. And if that's for you, then let's do this.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
All right, what's going on, boss? Adrian Diaz here with Hasta la Vista, boss, the place where ambitious people like you and I, my friend, we talk about how to create a side hustle, make it profitable, quit our job, become our own boss. So the topic for today, I've done a video about this before, but it wasn't very good. I had a lot of mistakes. The software was not good. But today I have Clint with me here. Hello, Clint. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks for accepting the invitation. Come back again to Hasta la Vista, boss. It's awesome to always have you here to share the knowledge.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. So I'm not gonna ask Clint to necessarily do that awesome presentation, like not presentation, but talking about what he's doing, because we had a live hangout. You just go to the playlist with the hangouts and you're gonna see how he started, what he's doing, and all that. So today we're just gonna focus on how to do schema markup and all that juicy stuff. Before we move on, I want to welcome everybody in the chat. Let me know if you guys are here. Let us know what do you know about schema. Let us know your questions about schema. And before I forget, usually I don't forget this, but here you go. Something cool that we do on this channel is that you can join us. You can join Clint and myself in here on the Zoom call and ask your question directly instead of writing it. Yes. So if you have one, do that, because Clint loves that as well. Lance, how's it going, brother? Welcome. Chris from Niche Safari. Hello. Again, if you have questions, drop them in there. Looks like the software is working. If you don't hear me, guys, let me know. There was some issues right before I hit live, so hopefully everything looks good. Alrighty. So I don't know, Clint, how basic we should go into this. I think that most of the information about schema, I mean the basic schema, it's out there, I would say. If you just Google it, just what is schema, I guess it's there. But if you want, can you give us a few information about schema, what this does and how this could help us if you applied for the sites?
Yeah. So I don't know how much history your viewers know about schema, but really what it was is a collaboration with Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and a whole bunch of other people, and they all came together and they wanted to use this markup, and it's in microdata, JSON LD, whatever version you want to use. It's all schema.org to help search engines, primarily was the main user, identify what a website is about. So they needed a new way, right? They needed another way to crack that nut, because obviously link building, which Google introduced, made search engines like 1,000 times better, but at the same time, it opened the door for people like me who were using links to rank for websites back in the early 2005s when it was like free money. So schema.org came out, and it was born out of Dublin Core, which is still in place, and was used for institutions of higher learning to say this is what this thing is about. And schema came out, and it's even more refined than that. And ultimately, I want to say like 3 to 5 years ago, plugin developers and SEOs and the gurus that Adrian and I were just talking about, they talked about schema and its value, its ranking value. So products like Project Supremacy, Schema App, Rank Math, Yoast Schema, SEO Connect, SEO Press, all of those things came in to make it easy for guys like Adrian and I to implement schema. And what happened was, because of that, everyone was doing pretty much the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so that, if you noticed, all that value in a way, right? You were sold on this product. In the beginning, it worked great, and then after a while, it just stopped working. Well, that's because everyone was doing it.
Exactly.
If everyone's doing it. If everyone's doing the same thing, and that brings me to my test. I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I have to draw, so I'm gonna do this one just.
If you don't mind, guys, if you think that this is going to be helpful, or if it's going to be helpful, give us a thumbs up. That would be really appreciated. As they say, it's good with the algorithm, so that's awesome.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, subscribe. Engagement is engagement.
Give me just one sec before we move on, Clint. And I just want to welcome some SEOs and other beautiful people that follow the channel. We have Fix in here. We have merchants. Kieran, what's going on? David, Miguel, ¿qué pasa, hermano? Welcome, everybody. There you go. It's all yours, Clint. I don't know if you can make it a little bit bigger. If you, I don't know if people can see it.
I'm gonna mess with it a little bit here.
I can see it beautifully. I don't know if these guys on the chat can see it.
Yeah, they should be. Let's see.
Ooh.
I might have to do that with each page, so just remind me. Anyway,
no worries.
I looked at all the stuff that all the plugins were doing, the basic schema, and basically the basic schema is essentially it's the easy things you can automate inside a plugin without having to have direct access to a website. Standard fields, titles, URLs, all that stuff, and that's what Google is looking for inside of their documentation. That's what they tell you to put in there, right? Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind, this is all pre-rich snippets testing tool. This is the under the structured data testing tool when schema was brand new. But you look at it, and I put the unchanged schema. This is exactly what Google tells you how to put it in there, and I got absolutely zero ranking results. The only one I got is like this outlier right here. Okay. And then I optimized that schema, very same schema, and just put my keywords in it. And I wanted to see if that level of schema, the basic schema that you're going to get out of your plugins, is going to do any ranking improvements. And as you can see from the test results, is pretty much non-existent. There's a couple outliers in here, but for me in a test, if these aren't all number one, if my change is number one, then it's actually no value to me. You know what I mean? So right. And in this case, optimized schema with the schema at the level that a plugin gave us based off of Google documentation, it was useless. So we know article schema is useless. What about image schema? Everyone's talking about image optimization. You need to do all this stuff. Well, I got the exact same result. I added the schema, the basic schema that you're going to get out of a plugin into the test results, and I got the same thing. Pretty much it's a wash. It's not, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, but for the most part it's not a consistent number one ranking for my test result. So ergo it's not worth my time. I'm not dominating. Why am I going to implement something that's going to kind of work sometimes? You know what I mean? So, and then finally I did a whole bunch of these, but same with video schema. I talked about this one in the IMG. Same thing. I got some optimized. You can see that overall it won in the test, but it's not number one across the board, right? And it's fake keywords. This should be used by the ranking. Yeah. And I didn't get a set of number one. So if you're talking to a guy like Ted Kabitis, or maybe even Kyle Roof, they'll say that this test is inconclusive because there's some rankings here, et cetera, right? But if it's not all ones in my book, it's not worth my time. Right. So this one is a failure. A couple of outliers that we got, and I'm just going to go over one of those, is home how-to schema.
How to?
I
Okay.
didn't get, yeah, I didn't get like, I get this random one here. It's 11 and this one is 5, but look at the rest of these. 1, 1, 1, 1. This to me, how-to schema is worth doing.
Okay.
Especially when you look at the indexing rate of the pages, etc. How to's this test says that how-to schema is worth it, and even the basic version, I got some number one rankings out of that too. But an optimized one is even better. So in this case, we know that how-to schema is doing it, and what is really at the end of the day, and I bet you could probably figure this out depending on how I ask this question, if I can spit that out right. What is the difference between the article schema, the video, and the image schema, and this how-to schema? What do you think the difference is?
My guess would be that you can add content in it. You can add.
Go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right on the money.
Boom.
You can add content, right? You can fill this thing in and do as much as you want to. So,
right.
When Google says, or when people say, "Oh, Google doesn't read hidden content," well, these tests just prove that it's complete crap because this is all hidden. This is written in JSON LD. It's hidden. Google's reading it and then it's applying it to the search results. So we kind of did the two tests, right? So we did hidden content, and then we did, hey, let's look at the schema stuff. So you gave me your site, and you said you wanted to go for like a plugin or something like that, and just kind of how are we going to implement this stuff. And really, at the end of the day, what I did is I kind of signed in here, and I looked at what you had going for plugins, and you got one of the typicals, which was rank math.
Yeah.
I looked at your settings and verified that your schema is turned off because we don't want to use schema, right? And then you had this, or we don't want to use a plugin. And then you had, where is it? Saw it on the list. There you go. Sogo.
Yeah.
Which is if you guys are running, let's say you're running a rank math or you're running a Yoast, turn off the Yoast plugin schema, turn off the rank math schema, and then use Sogo. If you want to save yourself the drama of adding extra plugins, just switch to SEO Press Pro. That's the one I use. And you can actually turn on their default schema, but turn it off so it doesn't apply automatically.
Okay.
And then it's got a custom section that actually replaces Sogo. So you
all
can
right,
just
that's why I actually left, because there's always people asking, hey, why do you use Yoast, why do you use rank math and all that? And to me, both plugins, they're doing a great job, to me at least. I mean, I'm not working on hundreds of websites like many people, but the only reason I left Yoast and changed to rank math is that the free version of Yoast would not allow me to turn off this rubbish schema. They just spit out automatically as soon as you create a post or a page or something. Whereas rank math, you can go and switch it off.
Well, there is a plugin now out there that turns off Yoast. I forget the name of it, but I know that there's one that exists. And then there's also a PHP line of code. You can Google it and you put it in your functions PHP, which I'll show you what the hell I'm talking about here. I understand. Let's see. You should have it. This one right here. You just drop it into your functions PHP. Hopefully you guys can see it.
Right.
And you just Google it, and it's literally one line, and all it does is tell Yoast to shut up. It shuts off that party.
That's awesome.
Okay. So there are ways around it without switching, because really at the end of the day, what are you using an SEO plugin for? Title tags, meta descriptions.
Yeah, that's all.
OG.
Taxometries and all that.
Yeah. And Dublin Core and Canonical. So, and a sitemap. At the end of the day, that's like the true purpose of a SEO plugin. Most modern SEOs probably are only using those features when you think about it, and all this other stuff is just kind of like extra shiny stuff.
Yeah. There's many people who they lose like hours on Yoast, on rank math when they write an article and they try to make all those bloody buttons and lights green and make and they spend weeks on it. And
well, honestly, those are good guides when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
and eventually you learn a couple of things. One, that they don't mean anything, but two, they're all based around the basics of on-page optimization. And then with the basics of on-page, you're going to do title,
Mm-hmm.
meta description, H1, and then your content. That's where you want all your keywords at, right? And you're going to start learning this process of getting that trilogy right, and you'll be running off to the races. So with that, you really don't need a whole lot, right?
Exactly. Give me
So
one
we're
sec.
looking at this post here.
Give me one sec, Clint. I just want to go quickly to the chat, if you don't mind. And there's David says that he's using that function to disable Yoast schema. Do you mind if let us know which plugin or what is it that that you use, David? If you don't mind, just for the people in the chat or people who's gonna watch this later, that'll be awesome, brother. Thank you. J5, how's it going? Welcome. And by the way, if you guys don't know, Clint is inside my website, the telehandlerplanet.com website. That's a lead generation case study that is public on the YouTube channel, and he's gonna show us how to do some schema on it. Back to you, Clint.
Okay, so this is a post I just found. I've just picked one, a random, on your website, and just kind of show you down here. And if you guys are going to use Sogo, it's OH ad script. Why the names are different, I don't know. You can get these. You can pay for the upgrade to get these shut off. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it, but I like this because you can do the per page header and footer if you're going to use this. This is a good one, and there's another one that doesn't have ads that lets you do the same thing. And
I don't mind
insert
the ads.
headers and insert headers and footers if you want to pull the whole thing. But in short, this is where we're going to add it. So the question is, really looking at this page is at the end of the day is what are we going to do for schema? What kind of stuff are we going to put in here? I'm going to shut some of your stuff off just to bug you later. All right. What are we going to do with schema here to turn this into more information for the Google bots? Because right now you don't have anything, as I remembered. And if you guys are used to this testing tool and haven't heard the news right by now, Google is actually disabling it. They're going to shut it down in exchange for the rich results testing tool, which is a complete turd. So that's like,
that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, training in a Lamborghini for. So you can see here your schema, the rank math tool is actually putting schema in there for you.
Yeah, it's
and it's shut off.
Could be
why is it
the
that?
theme as well, Clint. All those other crap in there, all these WP sidebar and header and all that.
Yeah, all your other stuff. So, all this stuff would be shut off. This actually gives us a good base because we get to start from somewhere. So, I'm going to look at is the schema tool, and this is schema builder. You can just schema builder, and you can find it in Chrome. And I'm going to go to this one, and then we're going to view the markup and click the copy. And open Sublime. I use Sublime. You guys, whatever editor you want to use. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? I use Sublime because I can come in here and I can hit the syntax and change it to JSON, and I can catch errors before I go to the testing tool, right?
That's great.
So this is the article schema that your plugin gave you. It's pretty basic, not a whole lot you can do with it. And it just says who the publisher is, and this ties into the organization. You can do this with that ID at the same time and build this out a whole lot better. But at the end of the day, does it really help you as a user or even as a Google bot to tell me, what is this page about? Okay, so there's that schema. And then I want to see if I don't see it.
There's Susie. Welcome, Susie. You made it to the live stream. How's it going, Susie? Bloomfield. She's always around the where someone is talking about SEO. She's there.
Yeah, she's everywhere. I
Say,
don't know how she gets anything done, to be honest.
yeah. Says
All
he
right,
as well.
so we got that one. Okay, so we got this one. So let's go to schema.org and kind of show you guys what a little bit you guys are missing out of by just following these plugins. And in this case, we're going to kind of focus on article because it's the easiest one. And look at how this is kind of set up. So, and I teach in my course to look for specific signals inside of this allowed to tell you what you can add to it. So, and the main signal right now is text. If it says text, I can actually drop keywords in there, right? I can drop related information. I can make it even better in regards so that Google can read this thing. But I don't want to get, I don't want to get too crazy with it. You know what I mean? So sometimes you get, you just got to be a little bit smarter. But in this case, we got the headline. It's already there. So what we don't have is article body. Let's see. We don't really need, I mean, we could do the backstory. Backstory would actually be pretty cool because I can plug some keywords in there.
Right.
Page end, page start. I don't need that. It's kind of an integer. Pagination, we don't really need that either for what it's doing. Speakable is really cool. It's in beta right now, but the idea is you can mark up sections of your web page that a Siri or a Alexa or a Google could actually speak back to you.
That would
You know
be
what I mean?
badass to try. Actually, I was looking today because I was looking through Schema and I was looking for ideas and topics and all that I could ask here. And someone was talking about making your website talk, which of course it will be with having this type of schema on your site, right?
Well, all websites should be accessible, right? So for disabilities, so for a reader. And then this is just one more of those things to help those readers actually get by. So if you set this up and the reader was compatible, it would, instead of reading the entire website, you can dictate and move a person who's using one of those readers along in a story without them having to worry about, like you do a 5,000 word article, but someone's not going to necessarily listen to 5,000 words as they're going through that screen reader. You can set the speakable up to jump through your highlights of your page if you want to. Something, that kind of application.
That would be awesome. Do you include this in your course? Do you include this in your course?
Speakable, I've talked about a little bit. We haven't implemented it because I actually want to show inline schema first. And the difference is this is a schema that is in the head. Inline schema is written in much the same way, but it's actually in the spots. Like article body is wrapped around the entire article body. Make sense? Yeah. So I haven't like implemented this part inside of the course yet. I talk about this. I give you the ideas on how to implement it, but actually my going through and do it. Cool. All right. So there's go ahead.
Can I say welcome to Terry as well? Terry Power is here. Terry. How's it going, Terry? Welcome to Hasta la Vista, boss. And Paul here is in the chat. He has. Let me see if this is a question. Paul entities. I think it's a question. Could entities / keywords be stuffed into the schema as long as we don't trigger duplicate content?
There's no such thing as duplicate content. Go to any local search result and you can find pages that are exact same thing minus the change of the city and the keyword, right? So
just show them my website.
Content out of your head. Get duplicate content out of your head. And then 2, you can put keywords in here. Here's what I caution you to do. Don't go in here and do something like this. Don't do this. This is dumb, and this is gonna get you in trouble.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right, 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 right.
because it's not gonna get you in trouble because Google's gonna catch you. It's gonna get you in trouble because there's someone out there in your market that loves practicing narc SEO. They'll see that you did it, and then they'll pretend to be innocent and why is this ranking, John Mueller, and get your website nuked. So, or they'll go to one of the other talking heads that you see around that profess and teach narc SEO. So that is not, when I say you can add keywords, you can add entities, and you can stuff, that is not what I'm telling you to do. When I say keyword stuffing, that's the first thing everyone thinks about is, oh, I'm going to go in there and drop 500, keywords in there. No, that's, you can, but make sure you're smart. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
all right, so let's get back on track. Now as article is part of creative work, right? So this is, you do this creative work thing. You can talk about all these other things. You can probably even drop this stuff in here and pass the test. For the sake of time in this example, I'm not going to do all that, but you can actually, you can drop abstracts and about things. Actually, I think we can probably get away with about. I can show you a little bit of that with about on the topic of entities and stuff. Another one that I like to use a lot is citation, and you're thinking about when you're in school and you had to do your bibliography or your works cited or your resources page. You mark those citations. You can do the same thing here and tie in that you've researched from these authoritative journals, for example. If you guys followed Jordan Pierce any period of time when he was with the NFG guys, they talked about using citations, et cetera, inside of the content. I just, added that into this. Another person that talks about it a lot is Lily Ray. She's pretty
Lily
good
Ray,
too,
okay.
So, yeah. And you see some of this stuff is already there, like headline, right? It's already there. Interactive type, I'm not even going to worry about. No, I can hammer this stuff out. Do that. Alternative headline. There's a good one. Assesses. I don't really need that. Award. I like that one. That is fun.
What would you put in it?
You can actually, like in your case, you're going to be a slew telehandler, right?
Yeah.
Britain's number one slew telehammer, the best slew telehandler, top slew telehandler in the city. You know what I mean? There's so many fake awards out there anyway where you can just order your own plaques, for Christ's sake. So why not just stuck it in here? You're not going to disable or hurt your what do I want to call it, your trustworthiness that you've established with your customer, because they're not going to see this. It's not going to be on your website.
Right. That's only for the bots.
Exactly. And let's see, what else can we add in here? Education level, don't need that. Educational use, don't need that. Genre is really good. I would kind of caution you if you're working with genre stuff, but just kind of leave this as a category, especially when you're dealing with local businesses. So make sure if you're going to use a genre, it's tight to your category. Don't get crazy in there, and just because you're a plumber and you also do, and you also do, and you also do, and add all those in there, you'll confuse the bot. So if your page is about plumbing, your genre should be plumbing. Okay.
Cool.
And here's a good one everyone likes. Keywords. And license we don't need. Material mentions. There you go. Mentions. I'll show you a cool tool. You can use that one. Position, producer, schema version, you don't need any of that. Reviews, we don't need that unless you're actually doing a review, and you're not. So text is kind of fun.
What would be text different than article body?
Well,
Or you
in
choose
our
one
application,
of
you can
one or the
just
other.
put whatever. Yeah, you
Okay,
can.
okay.
Let's say you need a whole bunch more. Let's say a tool tells you need 3,000 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know that I don't need 3,000 words to say what I want. But I can now I have this text thing that's available to me. So why don't I put a spun version of the article in here, for
True.
example? You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
there's think about it in that way. There's some other opportunities of what you can do with this. And then you get down to this. These are the globals. This is pretty much every schema will allow you to leverage this stuff again in all of them. So, and the favorite ones for me are description. So think of this as your meta description, and then there's disambiguated description. Think of that as it's my super meta description. Okay.
That'll be the longer one.
Yeah. Name you already got in there, so you don't really need it. Actually, it's in subtype of author, so we could probably do it again. And I'm just going to put it up here. Same as, we can drop that. Same as, and then the URL should be by default in here. Where is it? Not there.
If you guys have any questions, I know there are some people who told me before the live, hey Adrian, this is a very interesting topic. If you guys have any question, it doesn't matter what level, it doesn't matter how silly it might sound, just drop it in the chat and Clint will get to it. Sorry, Clint.
Okay, so now you can see here, there's the difference. Like there's all these opportunities that you missed out on, and by having that that plugin turned on, your theme or whatever is driving the schema on your website. I don't know what you got turned on in there, but you probably need to turn it on.
You're never gonna get this with any plugin.
Right?
No
right?
chance.
All right, so let's go with let's start filling this stuff out just so you can kind of see, and then we'll walk you through some opportunities to test and stuff. So we're gonna do name. Typically, name would also be the same thing as your headline, right? But you want to take a little bit advantage of that. So what do we need to do here? I don't know the market, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it.
Yeah.
If you know of anything else we can put in there, let me know. So we'll do telehandler, A89. Transitional test.
Hey Josh, how's it going? Welcome to Hasta la Vista, boss. Josh McAdams.
All right. So you see why Sublime, it kind of helped me fill it out. All right. So I really just spun that. It changes it around. It's another way that they're going to look at your thing. In this case, we can do description for ease of use. I believe you have a description in here already.
I think I have some. I think it might be. It might have some. What do you call the meta description?
Yeah.
I usually do fill them up.
All right. So we're gonna do this one, and I'm gonna get a little sloppy here, guys. Just
that's cool. I guess just the idea of people see how to go about it, and then how to fill it up, and then how to put it in your page. I think that's very helpful. Let me drop this screen. I hope it's still working because I get this loop on. I hope you guys can still hear us and see us.
Trying to get rid of that error because it's annoying to look at. There we go. Jeez. All right, so description is the meta description. You can put whatever you want in there. It can be as long as you want or as short as you want. In this case, we're just going to use the meta description and then disambiguated description. Just pretend that I did this, but what we could do is put the same thing and then spun it into a different version, and we can add like blah 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 times 100 more words, right? It's just a thing. It's another field that's given to you. And you notice that every time that people were doing a handwriting schema, what are the two things that always screwed them up? It was the commas and the stupid squirrely thingies, whatever.
I know, yeah. That made
right?
me
So
that made me lose my patience many times.
Exactly. Right. And you see Sublime, when I turned on that JSON LD, it's telling me in advance, hey, this stuff is messed up. And if you see a red line in Sublime, you know that something's messed up around it. So in this case, we did that, and we're going to do the alternative headline. And this one can even be, another version of this. So
another spin of that.
Yep. So right now the keyword that we're looking at is slew trans telehandler blah 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 test, right? Mm-hmm. So this page ideally would kind of go after that. So there's our keyword in there, and then we can drop the comma in. The article body. This one's kind of fun. You can kind of do this as you see fit, really. But I'm gonna go do it this way, and then I want to do.
Kieran says here in the chat, I guess schema, it's just another form of programming language. I think you could say that. I mean, I'm not a programmer.
Schema is not a programming language. Schema is
it's a language, right?
It's a database of things. It's a structure of how Google expects, or how the bots expect to understand what a page is about. It is written in several different languages. The particular one that we're using is JSON LD, which is a version of JavaScript. So don't think of schema as you're doing programming. You're not. You're applying You're applying a encyclopedia to your website by pulling the information relevant from that encyclopedia and showing it on your website. That's what you're doing. And in this case, we're doing it in coding format.
Like David says, organization or structure for a database.
There you go.
What the hell? Look at the size of that image.
Yeah, I shut off all your styles in your JavaScript, so this is one thing that you guys would probably kind of take away from this too. Is a good lesson here is be cognizant of what you're doing. That's how big that smiley face is that you gave Google. And what I'm doing is I'm building the article body section, right? So
yep.
There's your article body section. And then you don't really need spaces and all that madness in here. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be exact formatting. It doesn't even have to have titles and all that. You can actually just smash this one thing into one big, long, super paragraph if you want to. Just reading the words, right? And remember, we had that keyword that we're going after.
Yeah.
Not sure that it's in here in the structure that we did it. You see how fast this is. There's a lot of content on here. This is a lot of words on this page. You see how fast I kind of cleaned it up. If you wanted to, you can actually go along and just put it into the one block if you want to. For the case of here, I'm not going to do that. But we want to look at the keyword string and see if it's here. And the one that we picked was slew traditional test, and I want to find it. And it's not there. See, it's not in your content. So we're going to use that and look at finding this. Oh, that's not even in there. What is wrong with you?
What's going on there?
Clue
Maybe it's not
handler.
in that particular order.
There you go. Clue handler. There we go. We're getting it. All right, so I'm going to go clue handler. Boom. There. Next. Clue handlers. Plural's fine.
Yeah.
Bam, it's there. You only have it in there twice. All right, so normal belly handlers, or boom. Let's see. I'm just scanning comments, questions about the through the test, and about 10 questions in the blah 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 test total. Transition course, slew handler, about your slew handler, transition course, the A77 course. Yeah, that's not the keyword we want, so that's fine. We're just gonna replace that as not being seen. And now I probably slew transition test. Any tests? Slew handler. A77 handler, test training course, slew handler.
Yeah, Susie, I'm gonna put some background music for schema. There you go. It's good to have some background music.
It's not hard, right? So I'm showing you guys live that it's not hard to do, but you do have to have a little bit of patience with it.
A little bit of patience, right? Because it takes some time, I guess.
Yeah. I just, what I did there is I essentially just increased the keyword density of your page, right? I'm going to leave it like that just for now. And then I can put it
in the article body. Wow.
in the article.
Now, can you imagine if you have hundreds of pages?
Well, you do this per page, and you do it this step here. I wouldn't do it on all of your content. So what I would do is look at letting a plugin handle it, like I do on Digital Ear, right? For SEO this week, I let a plugin handle the show episodes because I really don't care if you see all of this. See, this is gonna fail because I got to go through and clean up all the formatting and stuff.
Yeah. Susie says she need urgently to watch your schema course. We'll talk a little bit about it in a few minutes. If you guys are interested in Clint's course and how to do it a little bit more in depth, we'll talk a little bit about it in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm cleaning this up so you guys can see it.
I'm sure you find a way to automate. How do you say automate this? Or
well, there are tools that'll pull the content out for you, but at the end of the day, there's some things you just can't automate. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing inline schema, you wouldn't even have to worry about this. Because you're inlining the schema and you're writing it, and then you're writing your article, and then you're closing out the schema. So that this step here you wouldn't even need to do. Again, the automation is what's getting everyone in trouble. So if everyone is automating and doing just this one step right here, then what value is? There's no value in it to Google. There's not. If everyone's met that standard. The only thing that you can say is that you met the standard,
right?
Versus if everyone's doing something different, right? Mm-hmm. And then your page being different is what makes you stand out. So now I've added the entire article body in there, and we clean that all up. The backstory you can just do like Adrian is an awesome guy. He does telehandling
Gracias.
and blah blah, and takes selfies while he's working because he's unsafe, or cool stuff like that. Call his boss. Turn that off for a second. About pretty much the same thing. I'm going to show you what you can do with about, and then as we get closer on time, just let me know and I'll work faster. Go to topicalrelevance.com. Joe Priest, he made this tool. It's free right now. I don't know, maybe one day he'll come to his senses and start charging for it.
By the way, Joe, if you watch this, thanks for posting the link to this hangout on your Skype group. You know that we love you, bro.
I don't know if he's going to get anything. Let's see what happens. Get data. He might have broke it.
There you go, that funky music again for Susie. I know she likes the funky music.
Yeah. Well, Susie's seen all this before, but she always talks about how she needs to get on her schema, right? But she's a slacker and doesn't do it.
Yeah, it might take some time actually to get the data. I remember last time I used the tool, it took like 2-3 minutes.
No, this one is not even starting right now, so I don't know what's up with it. And I kind of I want to show this to you guys. Let me try a different browser real quick.
Susie really liked the funky music. Yes. Are you from Rio? Are you from Rio, Susie? Rio de Janeiro? Archangel. She's from Sao Paulo. Huge city anyway, both of them.
She's from Australia. Anyway, so what this is doing is, if you guys have all heard about the entities and all that other stuff, and there's tons of ways to get them. You can put your article in Google NLP API. You can put you can go to Google, type in your search keyword, and you'll see the image bar up the top, and it'll have a whole bunch of different words and things. Those are all entities you can pull it like that way manually, or you can just you can go to InLinks. InLinks does the same kind of thing too, and you can play around with it. But at the end of the day, that's what we're leveraging here is Joe's tool that does it. And we're going to fill in the abouts with this stuff. Mm-hmm. What you normally would want to do is just go through here and remove stuff that doesn't apply. Like you don't even think it makes any sense. Like feedback. Why is feedback in there?
Yeah.
Right. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and.
But that's crazy. Wow. That's some awesome data there.
Right. And it's doing. There's a bunch of other tools that do this. And in Joe's application, it puts it in web page, and you want to have web page on all of your schemas so that you can do this. And then what I like to do is kind of double up in the about here in the article as well, and do it there too with different set. Mm-hmm. And you can do this with the Google entities URLs, the search, search google.com/search/machine ID. You can change all these out and put that inside of one or the other if you want. And then we're going to go ahead, because we're here, and we're going to populate the mentioned schema at the same time.
I mean, listen, there's no chance RankMath or Yoast or any of these, they're going to spit out this this kind of complex schema. No chance.
Right. No, they're not gonna.
And that's where you're gonna kick ass, right?
Right. This is where you're gonna stand out from your competition. Okay, so now we did that. We got, and you can do LSI in here if you wanted to. I don't see any point in doing that. I would actually put my LSI if you're going to stuff that. Put it all in here. Just stick with the entities here, which is if you follow Ted Kabitis and I, we talk about entities, and he named entities kind of as the super LSI because these same things are actually in your LSI too, right? And let's see, keywords is really fun. You can do pretty much the same thing. You can do the LSI if you're talking about it, or if you wanted to, you can drop in 100, 10, whatever. In this case, we'll just do.
In keywords, you will just put keywords, nothing, just keywords, right?
No, it's literally just like that, and you just shoot down a line and do a whole bunch. If I was gonna do a whole bunch of them, you got to use this stupid bracket to say that it's in a block, and then just like this, go shoot down a line, and you can put 100. Right.
Right.
So all your different variations, if you want to do variations, if you know what those are, all the bolds and search term and all that stuff, you can drop those all in there. And like long tail terms that you don't want to talk about in here, you can do the same thing. Here's the same thing. You just kind of do that with this one, and let's say you're citing this particular domain for in your citations. You can drop that if you want to as well, and just put a whole list. So like if this was me and I don't know anything about telehandlers, so I would go and find associations, construction certification, that kind of thing, right?
Drop it in there.
And drop them all in there saying that I cited these things, especially organizations, like well-known organizations that teach those certifications. In your case, and here is the we'll just put variation so you kind of get the idea.
What's up, Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre's in the house.
And genre, we'll do text, same thing. We can stuff whatever I want, right? Interest of time, material handler at airport looking for two
Vimvite Media says in the chat that so much for same as plus wiki links being ignored by Google. This is loaded with them.
Yeah, and we did some tests in SIA. You can tell them about SIA if you want to, but we did some tests in SIA, and one of the testers in IMG, Internet Marketing Gold, Chris Labonte, looked at the difference between these links and the Google search links. He certainly found some interesting stuff in that, and I kind of just really I would have two of these, right? And I would have the Wikipedia link and the Google search link to the bot. So same as you pretty much do the same thing as you did in citations. If there's other people writing articles, or you have some other like you have the service page selling specifically this test prep kind of thing, you can put that URL in there and all that other stuff. In the interest of time, I'm only going to just put one, and this one doesn't even it's not related. And then your URL, which for whatever reason was missing out of your plugin.
Would you do this for any I guess, I mean, I kind of know the answer, but for people watching, later on the replay as well, are you going to do this for each page, or is different from the home page to the service pages, or
It's different. So it's another reason why plugin automation is really hard for those guys, right? So
mhm.
typically organizational schema, I put that across the site. Website schema, I put that across the site. Web page schema obviously has to be different for every web page. Then you local business versus course versus articles for your blogs, all that stuff. So that's why that automating stuff is so hard for the plugin people, is because you have to think about it in that way. It's
Yeah,
a per page thing. So,
yeah,
and there's really only two tools right now. There's manually doing it by yourself like this, and then there's Schema app, which will help you build it out a little bit more. And you saw that Chrome plugin too. You can use that Chrome plugin and kind of do what I'm doing here, right, and get a nice base.
hmm,
None of them are doing this.
yeah.
Schema app can do that for you, but you still got to plug in all this data and
All
all
the
that
data,
stuff
right?
into it.
Because it's kind
Yeah.
of
So
personalized for each page, right?
exactly.
It's custom made.
So right in the case of your page, if I was writing this out, right, I would have the organizational schema would already be there. I would do website, and the publisher in the website schema would say would lead to the organization, and then I have web page, and then the web page would be tied with the ID tags. If I don't know if you guys, I don't see this one in here, so I would do add ID, right, and then it would be this, and then hashtag
Web page. Okay.
web page. All right, and so if you guys have seen that before, and you're like, "What the hell's the add ID for?" Everyone talks about put your
Yeah.
GMB in there. That's really the people that are doing it. But at the end of it, what it's doing is tying this in. So I had the web page schema here. Where's the example? I had this web page schema here, and this one also have that same add ID.
Mm-hmm.
It would have the one that we wrote. Where did it go? It would have this. So because this article has the same thing as that web page, it's saying this web page has this article about it. It's a hierarchy. It's a stepping stone. And then if I wanted to, I can get into the reviews and all that stuff to review the article. And I would say this review is a part of this article that goes on this web page, right? So think about it as a stepping stone to your path.
That's great. You can really go crazy with this.
Yeah, you can tie it. You tie it all together. So now I have, if you're looking at it in a, this is probably the easiest way to explain this. If you're looking at it in this perspective, I have this organization. Let me get on my pen. I'll take forever. All right. So you have this organization. This organization has this website. This website has this web page. This web page has an article on it, and this article reviewed this thing.
Very awesome.
Okay, so there's that tier, and all those are all tied together, and it's kind of how it shows up in there. And you can build this tier out as much as you want. You can keep going. And the way it would look to Google is it would say Google would have website. It would have web page. Then it would say article. Hold on. When you see it in a testing tool, it'll be website, article, review. Because these two will have that add ID that we created
Right.
here,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's how Google will look at it. And then the website one would be website, or it would be organization and website. Actually, it'd be the other way around. It'd be website, organization. because it would say this is the website, blah 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 blah, and it was published by this organization, and then you have all that stuff that you would normally do in your organization inside of there. So it's the hierarchy. That's where you're going for. And there's really right now there's only one plugin that's even close at doing that, and that's the Yoast plugin. Yoast is doing implementing Graph. It's at Graph. It's really complex, and it's kind of annoying to write, but it's at Graph, and it ties all those tiers that I just said in under one thing, so I don't have to write 15 different schemas. Problem is, it's stupid hard to get it right because Google has certain rules for each thing, and then if you mess it up, you gotta essentially test the whole thing.
That's true.
Okay. So there's the schema that we have for yours. Now we've essentially, if we had built it out right, if we had taken our time and we had the time, and we put in all of our keywords and we put in our long tail terms that we wanted to rank for. We have our entities all in there and all that other stuff. Now you drop that on your page. Again, I would only recommend doing this though. If you were like, let's say you got a page and you optimize it on page, and then now you're in the top, you're 11 to 20, right? And you're not ready to build links yet because either way you just don't want to, or you want to get as much on-page power as you can from it. That pages that are 11 to 20 that are getting a lot of impressions, that's where I would change my schema up. And SEO Press Pro allows me to do that, so I can let it do it and then turn it off and put my version in there.
Cool. It's there's a question here in the chat from Vim Vite Media. Does those names types help Google with NLP? Example, at type, thing, name, X, same as.
That is the NLP. That's what the NLP API is kicking out. So if you look at, it's the entities that they're kicking out. It's tied in. It's all the NLP API doing is saying this content is written this way, and it probably has all these entities, these persons, place, things, or events tied to it and compared to it. That's what the Google NLP API puts out. And all those tools, TextRaiser, Surfer, Page Optimizer Pro, Cognitive, they're all running off of Google NLP API or IBM Watson's language analyzer. And they all generate essentially this thing, these lists.
Coolio. And now once we have this, we just copy paste it into the page.
Yep. In this case, I'm not gonna do it because we didn't write it out right.
Yeah. It's kind of mess up my page.
Yeah, exactly.
I wake up tomorrow. What the hell is the page? It used to be on page 1.
So we would actually put it. I thought I said back. We would actually go into here. Oh, you got it in your category somehow.
And by the way, Clint, it's been already an hour.
Oh, good.
I don't know if because I said that we're going to mention your course as well if people want to get more into depth with this, more deep into this.
Yeah.
Whenever
you have affiliate link, so
yeah,
share that. So share the affiliate link, but I'll show you where to get it. But first, let's talk this. This is the header. Always put your schema in your header. Mm-hmm. People say you can put it in your body. You can. People say you can put it in your footer. You can. Google will, the testing tools will say it's tested and it's good. However, who says the Google bot is reading your entire web page? So if you have all this stuff on there and it gets like you're halfway through your body and your schema is in your footer, you're screwed. So put it in your header all the time. Every time, put it in your header. Do it in your header, okay? And you just, with Sogo, you just drop it right in there and push save, and then you're good to go. Schema Press Pro, same thing. You'll select custom, and then you'll get this little box, put it in the header, and you're good to go. Whatever tool you're using, you can do the same thing as long as you're putting it in the header. If you have a client that is on a website, let's say a Shopify kind of deal, and you're gonna have to mess around with Google Tag Manager, and you can actually apply the same schema using Google Tag Manager. The benefit there is if they fire you and you're applying Tag Manager through your own accounts, you can just delete all your schema. If if you're into that sort of. But that is an added benefit.
Coolio. Susie says, "Oh, great tip. Schema on the head of the website."
All right, so the course that he mentioned and uses affiliate link. Give him some money, pay for his show.
Yeah, there's
He's
a
starving heliport person.
well, the link is in the description, guys. If anybody's interested, Clint of course knows what he's talking about. So if you want to, go in more, because I'm sure in his course he's gonna share more stuff than just the free knowledge that he's always sharing. Amazing knowledge. I've learned a lot from Clint, just by watching his videos. But if you want to, there's the link is in the description, or just go to his website, wildranks.com, and check it out.
Yeah. Click his link. All it is I'm crap at funnels, so all it is like a pay for my course kind of thing, right? So,
Yeah.
But there's if you go to What Ranks and you can click on it, you can see the course outline that I cover everything. It says 38 videos, but I got 5 more I got to add, and then we're getting into I'm taking it into actually doing schema, kind of like we did for Adrian, but I'll actually pick like a lawyer. I'll do the lawyer schema as much as I can based off public information and kind of show how I did that. And we'll do e-commerce and we'll do the affiliate site examples and all that stuff. And remember, I give you templates. So if you guys are looking for templates to get started out, that is awesome. But the course is designed solely to teach you how to use this website and how to write good, unique schema that makes you stand apart from everybody else. While I do give you templates and stuff, it's not, here's this template, copy, paste, or remove. No, I don't want you guys to do that. I want you to know how to use it so that you can be different.
Yeah, the thing is, with every course that I took as well, it was take the course, learn what's in the course, but then don't be afraid to explore and do your own thing and put this thing here and see what it does, then put this thing here and see what it does. Don't just stick to one thing that Clint is gonna share that template with you. I've seen this many people doing with the email marketing, where they'll say, oh, this is how you send the first email, you're gonna say this, and then the second email, just change it. Don't fucking say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that's with all templates, right? So there's was that guy who's doing the cold email course? I forget the heck his name starts with G. He banned me because I just.
Oh, really?
He sells like 50 templates for cold email, and people were just sending the same 50 templates over and over.
Yeah. I mean, how do you expect to work? It's just.
And it's the same with schema. If you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, which I just proved to you is actually not helping you at all, then it makes no sense. So I almost didn't want to put templates in there, but people like templates. So
yeah, I mean, of course, and I believe personally, templates are very useful in the sense that there's some people in the Hasta la Vista Boss Facebook group. They said, I can't get my head around this thing, and templates, they will give you at least a point where you can start. Like, this is the script. This is how the script looked like, and then inside of that script, well, you put this and you put that. So it gives you a starting point. It's not like where do I start?
Sure. I also teach one of the first couple of video in there. I teach you how to make your own templates.
Coolio. Kieran says here in the chat, putting the schema in the header makes sense. I guess it will be the first thing that the bot reads or assess.
Yep.
In this case, yeah.
Right. They're always good. It's always going to read the head. No matter how much your page is going to read, it's always going to read the head. So why not tell it as soon as it gets there, this is what my page is.
Yeah. And Susie says, when is Clint SEO this week's YouTube show? Like I said at the beginning, we're not gonna go through the what Clint does and all that, because we had the hangout. But of course, Clint has a YouTube channel which you should definitely go and check out. And I'm gonna make a video listing the top 10 or something like that YouTube channels. Clint's channel is in that top 10 for me. So definitely go and check it out and subscribe and pay attention to what he says. Like do this. Because you're gonna learn shitloads from him. That's how I met Clint. That's how I met actually Clint. We were on a Skype group and he was saying, hey, someone asked how you do this. And I started to laid out, it was a negative SEO, I think it was. And Clint says, what the fuck are you doing? Shut up. don't share that. I mean, and no one told me. But, like if you watch 20 videos and you put 2 plus 2 together, then you're going to learn a lot of stuff. So definitely go and subscribe to Clint's channel. Kieran says unique content and unique schemas is the way forward. That's it. Yes, for each page.
Well, unique schema, yes. Unique content, no. Like, I don't
define
it's
unique.
yeah. What is unique? If it's different from, if you present it in a different way and say the exact same thing with the exact same combination of words, then it's still but unique. You're presenting it a different angle, it's still unique, right? So and if as long as Google is allowing in local in particular, which they really at this point don't have any chances, you can do exact pages, the exact same page over and over again, and just change things. So be careful with the whole unique thing, and we've tested that in SIA too. You can copy someone's website word for word, change every 6th or 13th word, make it 51% unique, and rank higher than the page that you just copied. So,
and by the way, if people don't know what is SIA, can you please let us know, Clint, what is SIA?
SIA is the Search Intelligence Agency. I'm the, I guess you want to say, co-owner. Dory, friend, and I partnered up, and we do tests on page and off page factors, and just different ideas, etc. Kyle Roof and Dory opened it up, and Kyle went off to do his own thing with Ted Kabitis. So I stepped in, and we're doing a single variable test, and we do real world tests, and we're changing it up. And I do actually all my courses, like the schema course, for example, that was live to SIA members first before it went live on What Ranks, and they get it as part of their membership and stuff. So if you're looking for two aspects, really, if you want to join, like if you are a tester and you like to find things out and see what works, and you got a little bit of extra time and you're doing a test anyway, and we pay $100 per test, reach out to me, or you join as a member, and then you get our dossiers as a monthly list of all the testers and we did, and to help you kind of plug away at this thing we call SEO.
Awesome stuff. Well, I think do you have anything else to add, Clint, to today's hangout?
No, I'm good. I think we talked a lot.
No,
tired of hearing my own voice right now.
No, that's awesome. It's always a pleasure to to have you around and learn stuff from you. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for accepting to come on the show. Thanks everybody here in the chat. These awesome bosses here: David, Susie, Kieran, Say, Vim Vite Media. Who else was in here? Terry and all these awesome boys and girls here. Dr. Dre. I apologize if I miss your name. And other people who went to other live streams that there's other friends YouTubers that are streaming at the same time, and people, they just keep jumping from one stream to the other. I hope this was helpful. Give us a thumbs up again, and I see you in the next live stream, which I'm not 100% sure what is going to be and when it's going to be. That's depends on when my job is going to allow me, basically. So yeah, thanks again. And oh, remember, for those of you who are watching this channel, stay focused because we're going to get rid of that boss, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye bye.